I dance because it's something I love. Now, it wasn't it wasn't something I started by myself. My mom actually put me in when I was young, when I was a kid, around 10 years old. But I mean, I'm glad I stood by it because like it grew on me. It was always a part of me. I always grew up listening to it, hearing my mom, grandma, and everybody listen, clean the house to it, dance to it. I used to watch it when I was young, and I always had this feeling of wanting to learn how to do it too. I always wanted to be in it, be in the parties, be with my family, having fun, dancing, and doing all of it. So I guess that's why I stood with it once my mom put me into the dance studio, dancing salsa when I was young. And it's like I can't see myself not dancing now. It's like if I were to not dance, like something huge would be missing in my life. I do many things and I have many other interests and hobbies, but dance is always there and it always will be. That's a beautiful thing. It's not like you can't do it when you're old, when you're 70, 80, 90. And before joining Starlight Dance Studio of the Bronx, way back when, I remember going to see my cousins at a recital, and I actually remember one person going off. Eventually I was going to know almost everybody in that studio, but I remember watching one of the shows, and there was just one dude who caught my eye, and I was 9 years old, and he was just expressing himself, and he was having fun. His name is Diamond Rivera, actually, and he's still in the scene. So, good friend of mine, and I've known ever since then. So, it was actually him that I saw that caught my eye before joining that studio. And it was just impressive. Seeing his fearlessness and the way he expressed himself dancing was something that caught my 9-year-old eye. And that's definitely, I guess, one of the initial reasons why I started too. Just being impressed by that from what I saw. Now, what type of dance I love, like my favorite type of dance or something like that. Just growing up in the Bronx, I've been so exposed to hip hop and that movement and how it's evolved and how it's come along, all the way up until now. So one of my favorite all-time styles of dance is just break dance. I absolutely love watching b-boys do their thing and crush it so much that like I literally am almost about to throw myself into the circle every time when I don't even like know a whole bunch of moves like that, and I really can't do half the stuff that they can do. So honestly, that's definitely one of my favorite types. I hear the music and it lights a spark in me. I guess I would say one of the most important things are being humble. One of the things one of my first directors taught me, David Melendez, who, rest in peace, has passed away now, many years ago. He always said to just never turn anyone down, especially as a man in the whole dance scene, especially in the salsa scene. Never turn someone who's asking you for a dance down. And to this day, I abide by that rule. I mean, I've been turned down like when asking other people to dance, and it doesn't feel great at all, especially if you're learning or you're a beginner or not as experienced as a person you're about to ask. Sometimes it's kind of like a nerve-wracking feeling just gathering up the courage to go ask someone to dance. So to be shut down, especially if it's in kind of like a cruel or rude way or being looked down upon, is kind of like definitely a crushing feeling. So, I mean, now I'm not famous or anything like that, but sometimes I do get multiple people asking me to dance at the same time, and I'll only ever turn down to dance if I am like drenched in sweat and about to leave out the door or something like that. If someone's asking me to dance, I'll always accept, and I'm happy to keep by that rule. And I always teach others to stay humble too and abide by that rule. If I wasn't dancing, I don't know. I'd like to think I'd probably be a a lot more into sports. You know, playing baseball was one of my first loves, definitely, and that was something I did really young. So let's see, if at young, if I wasn't dancing, I probably would have kept up with that, with sports, maybe even like fighting. I was in karate for a while and I was doing that and I enjoyed that. But it was a point where, I just dropped everything and just stood with dance. It comes in my mind. It passes through my mind, definitely. Especially like when it hurts. My neck hurts right now from doing a wrong head whip. And I'm like, damn, I feel it. I feel it in the morning. I feel it when going to work, or sometimes, especially maybe during the winter season where it's cold, you're getting out of work, trying to go home, do your thing. But then you have to, you have barely any time to maybe eat, grab something real quick, and then go to practice. All those times, all those feelings of defeat, feelings of messing up a routine, a performance, feelings of being inadequate, of not being able to land a trick or to do something. All those instances kind of like provoke those feelings and those thoughts of quitting. But I always just take another thought, take another breath later that night or in the morning. And the answer is always the same. It's like, I love it. There's no reason to stop it. Like, why? Why would you stop doing something that brings you so much joy, that you love so much? Maybe you can stop being as involved, but like, if I can possibly do that when it comes to the time to maybe stop being on a team or going out and performing, but I'm never gonna stop dancing. Learning how to loosen up and feel and groove. I think early on you learn dance and you may get into the whole of just learning choreography or learning steps and trying to do it by the book, or do it correctly and not being too rigid. Learning to be smooth, to express and to feel and truly feel, and just understand that whatever you do, you can incorporate it into your dance, into your step. Was a big challenge that took definitely a lot of time to overcome and get used to. I mean, I spoke about it already. Breakdancing and b-boy. If I could go back in time, especially from my younger days when I was doing those basic hip hop classes and all, I would have just kept on with it and make sure I stood in there and not have been scared to try these moves and to flip and hurt myself and try different things and to use my body in those ways. So definitely that. I would have been a salsa, bachata dancing b-boy if I had it my way now. To be fearless. To not be scared to try anything, to jump in that circle, to take that other class, to do the styling, to move my body this way, to ask this person to dance, to ask that person to join this team, to start a team, to make more choreographies. I look back now and I think like, wow, like if 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, I really would have just pushed myself and gone with it without fear of who is critiquing, who is saying something, or what other people are gonna think, and just worried about me and doing what I love and how I feel. I feel like my dance would have been on a whole nother level. So right before I step on stage is all those feelings of mental preparation, and I always kind of like thank a few people in my head, and I always like talk to a few people and kind of like dedicate a performance. They're usually just loved ones who've passed away. So literally before every performance, I'm always thinking of David Melendez. David Melendez was my first director from Starlight Dance Studio, one of my first teachers of salsa, and one of the reasons I guess why I'm so in love with it. I'm always thanking him and wishing he could be there to see that. I'm always talking and thinking, thinking of my grandma who passed away before I was born, just because I know how much of an impact she would have made on my life and kind of how proud she would have been and how much she would have, how much she would have been in my life. So I know she would have been someone so involved and so happy to see me touch that stage every time I go on stage. So I'm always talking to her, and I'm always talking to two other family members. I have an uncle who died a few years back. He's my favorite uncle on my dad's side of the family. I always speak to them, and I know he's watching. And there's another cousin of mine too, who before that, a few years back, he died as well from cancer. So I know they're both watching me. So I kind of got like a little crew of people I talk to in my head, if that sounds like weird or something like that. But yeah, seriously, every time before a show, right before I touch stage, thinking of those people, telling them to wish me luck and to watch me do my thing. Traveling within my own country, traveling overseas, traveling and performing, just going places. I know a lot of people who are so, I don't know, they're immobile. They stay where they're at. They don't really go travel. Maybe they've never been on a plane or something like that. And I've been so blessed to have been moving, traveling, going to experience different cities, states, other countries, just to do what I love. It sounds funny, it sounds weird, but all those experiences of going somewhere new, to go and dance, see that place, and bring them a little piece of, what I love doing, what I've always done here. That's just amazing. I wouldn't trade that experience and all those experiences, because it's not just one. It's really like just so much wrapped up into one. I wouldn't trade that for anything. I love playing sports, so I wish I had more time, but with work, with dance, and a bunch of other things, it's so hard to find the time to really go and play ball. Like I would play when I was in college. I played basketball almost every day with my roommates and my boys, and I love it. I wish I could play baseball all the time, outside. But I'm always gonna just be a kid at heart and be active and be playing those sports, whatever it is, even if it's a sport I'm like not good at. I'm the first one to jump in and want to play. Besides sports, I love working out. I really, ever since I was young, I used to be really chubby at one point when I was young. So I've always had a desire to kind of like be my best self. I've always been kind of like awed by like our ability to change, to be better, to make our bodies stronger. So, from young, when I wanted to change and I wanted to lose weight, it just got into me, and it's a feeling that's never left. Now I am so busy, but I really try to find time every week to go work out with us in the gym or even just at home. That helps. I love that natural body high that you get from really just using energy in the right way and just training your body. And lastly, another hobby of mine, I guess, would be watching anime, like cartoons. Like I said, I'm still a kid at heart, but I'm a big anime fan. So starting way back when, from Dragon Ball Z all the way past Naruto and a whole bunch of animes that I'm not gonna name now, I'm still watching animes all the time, when I get the chance. Go for it. Fuck it. Fuck everyone else. Fuck these thoughts. Like I wish I had more of this mentality when I was younger, and I'm not even old now yet, But I wish I was more in this mind state before, not caring, not being shy, not being afraid to not look good or to be embarrassed. Be fearless. Go. If it's a passion, it's something that it's a passion for a reason. You know what you like, or you just feel it, even if you can't put a name on it. You find yourself surrounded by the things you like. So if it's a passion you want to pursue, you're trying to pursue, you're scared, like just go push yourself past that first line. It might seem like a big leap of faith, but you gotta do it. You'll be so much happier on the other side, even if it was maybe a little embarrassing or if it didn't come out like as planned. Do it. And at least with dance is something that you think might be a passion. The beauty about it is that, unlike professional sports or something, you're never too late to start that. You can start dancing at 50 and still have just as much love for it as someone who's 15 or 20 or 30. So go for it. Just don't listen to anything else. Just be happy.